are back. I'm back with some of my guys, some of my brothers, some of my friends. Most importantly, Texas State University Bobcat football alums. I have wide receiver. You guys may know him, CJ Best. Y'all remember him all over the field. And I have the sack master, Mike Odiari, here in another episode of the fifth quarter. And we are back, guys. Man, these are my guys, man. Welcome finally to the podcast. Y'all know you guys been waiting for me to bring y'all on the podcast, but welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you for having us.
No problem, fellas. I wish that we could be coming on with better news, and we could be on our way to a bowl game right now. Us getting ready to all buzz down there and just have fun, really enjoy the program. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. Texas State, we're currently 1-8 right now. As I said before, we kind of just as a brief overview, I'm sure you guys know, but we kind of started with a lot of potential. It was competitive, and we lost a couple close games. But since then, it's just like we just not been able to get a W on the win side. We have that one win against ULM. We're currently sitting at 1-4 in the Sun Belt. All right. Our last game was against App State. We lost a home game against App State. We lost by those guys by about 10 points. And, it's just another one of those things where we started the game off, looking pretty good, looking like we was going to be able to compete with these guys. And it's just a tale of that second quarter. There's a statistic that came out, and it was we've gotten just outscored in the second quarter for it was 100 and something to about 20 something that we was getting outscored in the second quarter. And then that's just been the tale of the season so far. But first and foremost, I want to officially give a real intro to you guys. I think I'm going to start with CJ first, just because you're at the top here. But CJ, man, welcome, man. Let Bobcat Nation know, what's going on with CJ right now. What's up with you, bro? Let us know.
I'm super excited to be here. When you told me about the interview, I've been thinking up and down about it. I couldn't even sleep last night. So I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk to Bobcat Nation. It's been a while. Recently, just working the tech field right now. Just watching the games a little bit. Also have a foundation I'm working on. What we do is we build homes for single parent families. Active working families, and what we do is we go in there and furnish it, and we work on down payment assistance. So that's something special that I'm really working on right now. But other than that, man, I've just been grinding.
Nice. Where are you guys currently working from? Is that Austin area, or is that back home? Like where is that?
Well, right now we're in Austin area. We actually got two families right now. We're just working on getting our funding from certain like banks, and like right now we're working with Bank of America with our 501c. But other than that, just getting the ball rolling, and that's pretty much our main priority right now.
Nice. Well, I'm sure everybody's loving to hear from me, bro. Me and CJ, I don't know. Texas State Bobcat. If you guys don't know, that's my guy. That's my guy. Me and CJ is like one of my best friends, and like. We've kept close with each other since, obviously, and man, I'm proud of you, brother. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm glad that you're able to hop on the podcast with us. And then we have the Sackmeister. What don't you call it? The Sackmeister. We got Michael Odiari, Mr. R Conference sack leader here with us. You got your check shirt on. I'm sure some people may know what it is. Some people don't. So let us know, man. What's been up with you?
Man, thank you very much for having me, man. Very much appreciate this. Love what y'all are both doing, right? Man, what's been going on? It's bringing both my purpose and my passions together, right? And that's on the TV and film side and the technology side. Right. So if y'all don't know what Check is, right? Check is a virtual traffic stop, right? We we put back safety, trust, and accountability back into the traffic stop. You know, most of y'all may not know, a few years ago, I was pulled over by police for a missing front license plate. And due to the officer's fear and lack of information, I was staring down the barrel of his weapon, right?
Wow.
So, you know, how do we provide a solution? And that's what Check comes in play. You know, Check provides video at the initial encounter for both police and motorists to have a safer interaction during a traffic stop, to decrease these thousands of senseless deaths that occur each year. So, man, again, thank you very much for having me.
Awesome.
For sure. That was and I want to elaborate that. I mean, because when I first heard about it, you know, me and Odie talk all the time. You know, when I first heard about, because we're both in the tech field. You know, I'm in the tech field. Actually, all of us are kind of, you know, we're in the tech field.
Yeah.
But you know, me and Odie are in that app building, you know, stage. And when I first heard about Check, man, it was brilliant. It was brilliant because on one hand, you have a lot of people who, you know, you can just decrease the in-person kind of interaction with police officers. You know, that's outdated anyways. I mean, how many years have we been doing that for, you know, since? So I think it's a great technology. And on top of that, I think what I liked about it was if you do get a ticket, Check can fight it for you. You know, literally, you know, you go on the app. I mean, you don't got to worry about, you know, going to the courthouse and all this other stuff. It's just like, it's crazy. For people that's like me, I'm busy. I'm busy as hell all the time. So it's just like, it's brilliant, bro. It's brilliant. I'm sure Texas State Bobcat Nation would like to know more about it in the future, bro. So definitely, you know, get Texas State involved. I think you are, but just continue doing what you're doing, bro. I'm definitely proud of you as well, bro.
Man, I appreciate that. Thank you for touching up on that point, because, you know, that's one thing that we wanted to do is bring that value for those who, to resolve their citation without going to court, like you said, right? The entire process, and put it on, you know, put it back in the palm of your hands.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's good, man. It's good. It's crazy because a lot of people, and that's the reason why I've been so excited. I've actually been excited. Now, I'm sure you guys know by now, I'm kind of, you know, I'm serving as, you know, the host now, and I'm more the moderator, but the excitement comes from me being able to bring people who was, you know, was so special within the program, you know, and bring them back onto the podcast and just talk to, you know, our alumni, our fans, and just letting them know like what we're up to. You know, we played for years. Now it's just like, okay, well, what we up to now? And just getting caught up with you guys is just crazy, man. So, man, I'm appreciative of you guys, you know, hopping on with us. So let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. We can talk sports right now. So let's go in and talk sports. So right now, last episode, we kind of started we dove right into the quarterbacks and the offense and things like that. So I think it's safe to, since we got, you know, Mr. Odiari here, let's pump the brakes right now and let's talk a little bit about the defense. All right. So right now, our defense, we're allowing 36 points per game. All right. That is a 2-point increase from last year. Last year, we was allowing 32 points per game. This year, so far, we're allowing 36 points per game. Seems a bit high. Obviously, we would like to get that number down. We started off playing some, you know, fairly decent, pretty good defense, fairly decent defense. And we just got hit with a lot of injuries. I think we lost like 4 or 5 DBs on the back end, and it's just been shuffling. You got safeties playing corner, and, you know, we're on our second and third and fourth. And, then, you know, it's just, injuries have just been playing a big part on the defensive side of the ball. So I will give them that. But, you know, one thing that we definitely cannot erase, man, is just our third down efficiency on defense. I mean, we're just not getting off the field. You know, right now, our defense is allowing 46% of, you know, people to convert on third down. You know, that's almost, you know, 50%. That's a extremely high number. And even on fourth down, we are allowing 50%. on fourth down. So those are high numbers right now. Who's leading the way? I would give Nico Isadore. He's one of our D linemen. He's leading the way of that defense up front right now. He's at 52 tackles on the year. He has 9 TFLs and he has 2.5 sacks. So he's been getting the job done on that front end. I have to give him credit there. And then on the back end, you got our junior Jerron Morris, who has 3 interceptions on the year. If you guys, I'm sure you've seen the big pick 6 that he had, that 100-yard touchdown, interception return for a touchdown. He has 3 TFLs. He has 8 PBUs on the year. So he's been doing some damage in the back end there. 1 forced fumble on the year, and again, like I said, he has that touchdown. So my question, Odie, we can start with you, is man, our pass rush has not been the best. We these other quarterbacks and these opposing quarterbacks, they've been able to have all the time, man, to get their receivers the ball. For a younger group, a younger defensive group, like the one we have now, we have a lot of JUCO transfers coming in. I remember we all were transfers. We all were transfers. We'll talk about that in a second, but we're 3 for 3 right here. But they have a lot of JUCO transfers coming in. The linebacker is a JUCO transfer. Nico's a JUCO transfer. Then you got and then there's a lot of younger guys everywhere, and a lot of new faces everywhere. So, what advice do you give a unit like that? How do they improve going forward?
First of all, hand work, right? But I think it also goes back to, I think for us alumni, I think we will take a little bit of responsibility on this one. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, the old coaching staff, cutting that line of history of allowing the older players to come back to be able to pour that knowledge, pour, that experience back into the program. Yeah. I think that's where we're missing, because, I know even now that we're still practicing these techniques. Because I don't know about you, I'll be walking around, I'll see, and I'll be making a corner. I'll just, I'll do a hand every single time.
I'm dead. Hey, I know that one in the corner right there still doing. You hitting the corner,
Well, I'm in the grocery store.
You never lose it. You never lose.
I'm telling you.
And when we lost that, that's why I appreciate this, because this allows us to come back and find ways to pour back into the program. I feel like when you have great programs that bring back their alumni to pour back into that younger generation, right? Those players are able to connect with those alumni because they see it on a different level. There's a difference in how a player could relate to another player than a coach relating with that player, right? And there's a difference in what that player can say that the light bulb goes off, right? And I think that's where I say we as alumni, we'll take that responsibility, but we ain't gonna take all of it now, right? Watching the game, we ain't gonna take all of it now. Watching the game, one of the things is like these sacks, right? Having those 2 guys, right? And you mentioned the DBs. When that's one thing that was effective for our group was we were working in unison, right? If the DBs are covered, we're gonna get sacked. What? There's gonna be a sack. Right. You're not going to wait that long, right? Yeah. And my man, it's one thing is just like that. Those pouring back the hand techniques, the different movements. There's so much that we've learned, from being outside of this. That I bet that if we go back, we're like, man, if I know what I know now, I'll use this. But again, those are the knowledges. Those are the experience that we can pour back into the program, pour back into the players there.
Yeah, man, and I agree. I agree. I think, everybody would say that, Rack, you hate Withers and Coach Withers, you hate him, man. And then I tell him all the time, like, I don't know the guy. How can I hate somebody that I don't know? I can't hate somebody that I don't know. But I don't care for the guy. I don't like him, you know, but I can't not hate him. I don't know him, you know. So it's just like, if I don't care for somebody, that's just based off of, you know, my experience. And part of that, based off of the experience, was when you come into a program and you alienate, you know, all of the alumni, you know, you alienate the former players, you alienate the alumni, you alienate the Bobcat, you know, greats. And, you know, it's just like, there's no reason why our team all knew who Barrick Neely was, and we all had some kind of interaction or relationship or whatever with people like the greats that come through our program. There's no, we was that way. They could come on campus with us and we showed nothing but respect, and it was always an open door, and our head coach made sure that that was possible.
Yes.
When we left, I can even when the new coach came in at that time, they didn't know who Barrick Neely, they didn't know who a lot of these guys were. And it was just like, you don't know who this quarterback just left here 2 years ago. How you don't know who your quarterback is? He just was starting two years ago, and you don't even, you watching the highlights of certain games and you don't even know the quarterback. How is that possible? You know, and it's just like, when you have a culture of it's called a brotherhood. It's called a brotherhood. When you have a brotherhood, it's a strong bond that just, it doesn't matter if I didn't play with Daryl Morris. I didn't play with Demo.
Right. Yeah.
I can go to Dallas right now and hit Demo and be like, hey, Demo, what's good? I'm in town.
Facts.
It's a brotherhood. Me and him know each other very well. I didn't play with him. He was not my teammate. So I think that was missed. You know, Craig, I'll let you, CJ, I'll let you go ahead, man. What you think?
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, I mean, we've had this conversation multiple times, and it's one of those things where, from my experience, when I first got to Texas State, the first person to kind of take me on the wing was Sean Rutherford, you know, besides meeting Mike. But, I mean, he came up, we chopped it up, and he just kind of took me under his wing. And just from that, it just came from, you know, other different alumni. But I think the thing that we're missing now is, you know, kind of like what you said, it's like, these guys don't even know who we are. You know, we got injuries. We actually given our all to the game and for Bobcat Nation. And to the fact was like, alumni's not reaping no respect, you know? Yeah. And obviously I do blame Withers for that disconnection. And, you know, I'm hoping that at some point it can change, because I talk to alumni all the time, and they're not pulling up. They're not coming. They don't feel welcome, you know? And so I think that's a big thing that's, you know, also for the on the offside end, as well as the defense, having that culture, having guys who excelled at Texas State, you know, not just the guys who didn't make it to the NFL, you know, because we do have guys who were great at Texas State, you know, just that opportunity just didn't fall in their hand. However, I think having those guys come back, speak, and mentor, and let these guys know also not only about playing, but you're bigger than just the sport itself. You know, don't let the sport define you. I think that's essential.
Right. It is. And it's a part of keeping that pipeline open. It's a part of keeping that pipeline open. It was so funny that and this is the last thing that I'm going to say on this, and then we can move on. But I remember like it was yesterday. I had a big time target. It was a Texas. I'm not going to say his name, but it was a big time Texas A&M receiver who was transferring. Okay, this is a guy who would have been similar to. Just imagine if we had an Oklahoma State transfer. We had a Keenan that came in and balled out. And then there was another Texas A&M guy that wanted to come in and transfer. Huge guy. I think he would have been just as much as Keenan was at that time. He came. This was during the Withers era, where Withers already kind of like soured the alumni a little bit, and he was getting trained with, you know, over in Houston with me. I was his man. That was one of my, you know, my athletes, you know what I'm saying? I was carrying I was the one helping him through the way. And he hit me on the phone, and he was just like, "Hey, man, I just got off the phone with, Texas State." So he talked to one of the Texas State coaches on the staff, and I didn't have a good relationship with Coach Withers. I couldn't trust them as far as I can throw, a sumo wrestler.
Hello.
Hello. so I had to, I had to tell them the truth. I said, hey, man, as much as I love Texas State and as much as I love that school, I will be doing you a disservice if I was telling you to go there over the current schools that you have. I would be doing a disservice. I can't do that for you, bro. When I talked to your mom, I told your mom I was going to lead you in the best way, and I just wouldn't. Not at this time. If you came on with me or like maybe another guy, but not right here. And he ended up passing on those guys. And you know what those guys told him on the phone? Oh yeah, Orakpo, yeah, man, that's one of our guys. You could, I ain't even talked to you. Like every time why are you saying my name? You haven't even had the audacity to pick up and reach out. You was just trying to disassociate with the old people. Now when it's convenient, you want to come on. So that lays to show you how powerful like alumni is. Sean and I talked about, Sean was just on the last podcast. He coached last year alone. They had 23 D1 kids in his 23, and that's just Division One. 23.
Right.
Okay, that's a pipeline.
Absolutely.
Now him and Spav are tight. Guess what happened? Guess what happened with that?
Exchange.
You know what I'm saying? It's a direct pipeline. So it was some Texas State offers getting made. My guy over there in Dallas, we have a couple of linebackers. It's twin guys. One of them, his name is Emmanuel, and those are one of my guys. Those are one of my guys that he was working and training with. He called me on the phone. Hey, bro, Texas State just offered my guy. And I'm talking to his parents in about 10 minutes. What you think? You know what I'm saying? Well, this is during the Spav era. I gave nothing but good reviews over to them.
Absolutely.
And he end up coming to Texas State. I think he has a good chance of starting next year. I think with what I've seen. So that just goes to show you what, when you take care of your alumni, making sure they're good, those are going to be some of your biggest ambassadors of your program. It's just the facts. Okay. So let's move on. So let's roll into it. So we talked a little bit about the defense, man, the third down efficiency, the fourth down efficiency. Obviously, man, we got to play a little bit of defense, especially going into Georgia Southern. So I'm not going to give a preview yet because we have a caller that's called in and they're waiting on. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the caller in. Y'all may know him, all right? But we're gonna let my man in here real quick. See if he can come on here. There you go. There he goes. He got the Wi-Fi connected. Big Roy, we good, man.
What's up, Roy?
Can you hear me? We can. Our audio is good. Let me see if it's saying that his audio is connected. One more time.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Nice. What up, man? How you doing, bro? What's up? Update us. Are you still on the sideline this year or what, man? Give us the quick Roy update,
Quick Roy update. Basically, because of COVID changed a lot of things as far as how sideline works. Okay. As far as how staff works and things like that, the numbers of people.
Okay.
So this year, what they've had to do is they've kind of shared them between the photographers. So one game I might be sideline, the next two.
I think we may be having some technical difficulties right
now.
What happened?
Exactly.
I don't know what happened.
No, we can hear you now. So next game you may be on the sideline, and the other game you may be what now?
Yeah, you may be shooting from up in the stands.
Got it.
it changes based on basically what photographers have put in to be at that game.
Gotcha.
So I covered the UTSA game sideline. I've covered every other home game from the stands. I will be covering our final 2 home games from the field.
From this field, nice.
So I can't wait, man. I love being sideline.
Yeah,
There's a different atmosphere there that y'all have all got to experience playing there. I get to be part of that with the camera.
Right.
So,
yeah, man, and
it's huge.
Yeah, of course, man, and we really appreciate it. I don't think, and Craig talked about it last episode, last week he talked about it, but people don't always know what goes into a program and what goes into building just a quality D1 program, what goes into a team. I mean, it's everybody involved. It's really everybody involved. It's crazy because, man, I am a big proponent, bro. And I know we all, me and you are cool. I consider you a friend, Roy, but man, bro,
you
don't understand how much we are a fan of you and your work, bro. Most of the time we wouldn't have had any photos or things that, my mother has them all there, all of our parents, they have them, and it's just like, it's crazy. They hoard them too. My mom have every, everything she can get. But man, we all appreciate it. I know sometimes when people are shooting, photos and videos and stuff, not every time you guys are, giving your due appreciation, man. So I want to be the
flowers.
I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm glad when people enjoy what I do. Right. I've been lucky enough. I've been around long enough to have shot.
And this is on me. I messed up, and I think he's coming back.
I don't know why it's doing that.
No, you're good.
But I was just saying, I appreciate that.
No problem.
I appreciate hearing that. And I've been lucky enough to have been sidelined now long enough at Texas State that I've gotten to watch every one of y'all play there. I've gotten to see the program go through each one of y'all kind of at a different time frame, and countless others.
Right.
And it's always good to you tend to make 1 or 2 connections each season with a certain player that kind of becomes a connection as you go on down the line. People.
Right when you want to, he's about to drop.
It's like the good stuff. It's all good. I wish I gave you the full invite. You would have been able to call in too. So you talked about connections, man. You talked about connections. So what? And I know it's crazy, and it does work out like that. So who would you say this year? Who would you say on this team? Do you have anybody on this current squad that you would say like is one of those players who you feel like you would have that connection with, or last year's squad?
It's obviously because of COVID, it's a lot different. I'm not as present as I would like to be. Yeah. I have had the opportunity, honestly, this year to meet more of the players' families than I have the players themselves. Yeah. And that's huge, man. Yeah. We have some Class A parents this year that are there to support, like, no matter what, ride or die for their kids and their kids' teammates. They're at every game. They're wearing the gear. They're in it. They're involved. They're like you. They want the pictures, which I can't give them while they're there. They want the stickers. They want this. They want that. NCAA is crazy, man. But I've gotten to meet a lot of really good parents. And there's some parents that, we've got a couple of guys that have parents that have played pro ball, played pro sports in other areas. Gavin Graham being one of them, who started this year crazy, and then he slowed down a little bit. Right. But you look at where he came from. You look at if he hits that right spark. Yeah. What do we have on our team? Right. It could be a huge thing, and so meeting a lot of the parents, like I said, I think has been bigger this year than meeting a lot of the players because of COVID. Right. Straight up. But yeah, like I said, you do get those connections, and I know it will become a thing to where a lot of these guys are coming back next year, man. They've got a free year of eligibility.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be more connections made as it goes.
Right. I have another question, man. Y'all can, but what's your favorite? I have my favorite shot. I think I have my favorite shot. My favorite shot was the B-low pick. I think was one of your, because I think that wasn't that you that took that shot. Yeah, that was a dope shot. I can't even believe that we had got the shot, but he looked like he was Jordan it. Like, had to. Yeah, that was probably one of the my favorite shots. Do you have a personal favorite shot that you took like all time?
I do. I'm torn between about 3. Okay. So one of them would be it's actually an entrance photo. We were in our whites, and it was Herbert Cheeto Gonzalez.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Came out of that tunnel.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You've seen
it.
Yeah. That has to be up there. I've had a couple of other shots. I know. So 2 seasons ago, and if the name doesn't slip in my mind right now, it was a shot in the end zone. No, it's 3 years ago. I'm sorry, because Coach Lange caught the picture of me from the players' sideline as I caught the picture from the end zone.
Wow.
I'm shooting across, and got the full celebration. What's cool about it is they're lifting him up in the middle of the touchdown sign.
Wow.
And so you got full stands. You got everybody in the background, hands. That one has to be up there.
Dope.
Like there's a couple, but that's got to be one of them. Yeah. And then the only other one, we were in our All Blacks 2 years ago, and receiver came around the outside, caught a little short out, and it was number 9. And I wish I could remember exactly who it was.
Yeah.
Just, full on tackle, full wrap up. The guy folded in half over his shoulders.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of those 3 are probably my top shots.
Dope. All right, cool. Well, there you go. You're gonna have to get us those shots so we can post it the next time, so they can have a content. We'll probably post it on our socials and give you credit, man. Well, Roy, do you have any questions? Any questions for us? As we're talking, we got the alums on the pod right now. Any question for us? From me.
Well, let me start by saying this.
Yeah.
I believe I'm the first true super fan on here. And so when you talk Texas State super fans, I've been a fan since I was a baby, y'all. Like I appreciate y'all letting me come on here and do this.
No problem.
Because this program is my team. Like no matter what, this is my team. So I appreciate that. But obviously, Mike, I keep up with you a little bit more probably, than perhaps, it's easy to keep up with Rack. Rack's always around. But with Michael and with everybody, it's you don't see a lot. I follow y'all on Twitter, but you know how you don't get everything. I know a lot of our guys go on, they play a little bit of pro ball somewhere, semi-pro ball, whatever it is, and I see a lot of y'all are very successful in your business stuff. And that's one thing I actually noticed with Odiari earlier with the commercial. Yeah, I've seen that commercial 20 times, never knew it was him. And I recognized him, but I didn't put the name with it.
Right.
So for you, what are you up to now as far as, is that something you're doing? Is you're pursuing is commercial? Or are you pursuing the fitness route like Rack was for a while? Kind of, what have you been up to? Because you're one in particular I haven't gotten to follow real well.
Yeah. No, it's as I mentioned before, it's like my purpose and my passions just coming together, right? When you talk about fitness, to me, that's a lifestyle, right? That's my morning coffee, right? That's how I start my day. That foundation that football put in place in working out and, that discipline, it's just been it becomes who you are, right? And then on the TV side, again, as I mentioned, those are my the TV and the technology side are both my purpose and my passions just coming together. For the longest, I try to keep them apart, right?
Yeah.
But you had to take a step back and allow the man upstairs to do his wonders, and you just see how everything keeps coming together. And I have not, and I will tell you, right, I have not been the best at sharing what I do. Again, I just put my head down. I just keep working. And I know, Rack, you mentioned
that's me that keeps telling them like, oh, you gotta, post that, share that.
He's like, bro, you were in a commercial. Why doesn't anyone know about this? I'm like, I just did it, and I just keep going, right? But those are all just blessings, and I'm excited for on that route more the projects that have to come on that side, right? And I just seen the success on the TV and the film side, on the startup side is just progressing forward, right? But it's really just putting myself out there, right? Oh. getting out of my own way, right? And I'm really excited. Rag, again, thank you very much for putting this together, because
no
I feel
problem,
that Bobcats, the Texas State family, as we mentioned, coming back and providing those insights from the experiences that we've gotten through our journey. Those are the value adds that we could add back into the program, not just only sharing football techniques, but as CJ even mentioned, those experiences after football, right? What's your identity, right? And for a lot of us, one thing that we're finding out is a lot of us, we have different passions besides just football, right? And outside of after football was over, we started talking. We're realizing, wait, you share this interest in teenage girl, you share this interest in this. Why didn't we say anything, right? Because we've just been so focused for the longest, for years. Our identity has just been molded into football. Now, after football, then who are you? Exactly. That's an important question, which I know that these guys have, we've talked about. We've asked those real questions. And now how do we bring that value back? And again, this is a great start. I love this.
Good, man. Good. Well, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say real quick, hearing everybody talk, and I'm gonna throw back to one of your early things, Rack. Your inner grind days. What I'm hearing from everybody, it's that inner grind that all y'all got that makes you successful, that allows you to take your entrepreneurship and your ideas and come back, like you said just now, Michael, coming back years later. And you're like, man, why didn't I think of that back then? Like, but it's that inner grind that's keeping you going. That's what's making each and every one of y'all successful, and why you can come back and do stuff like this. And the fact that people want to hear what you got to say, that's huge.
Exactly.
Well, I just want to add on that real quick. One, like, we hold each other accountable. One thing that most people don't know is we will have these conversations like, yo, what are you doing in your personal life, or what are you doing in your journey, your walk of life? And having those conversations where people could offer insight, offer feedback to help the other person grow. Those are tremendous. Those are invaluable, right? Now passing that along to the players. Right. Man, if we already do that now, and then the players get come on now. Yeah. Come on. It's just value upon value upon value.
Absolutely, man. Well, Roy, man, I appreciate it. I'll be out here all day. They keep telling me we got to keep these things under 60. I'll be on here. CJ, we'll be here all night talking about this. But no, we gonna get together, Roy. I know me, you, and B-Lo. Brian London is supposed to be getting together soon. So and I'm looking forward to that.
I want to do that soon.
We will, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on, bro. We'll be in touch soon, bro. All right.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, guys.
No problem.
Appreciate all y'all. Eat them up, cats.
Nice to see you.
Go Bobcat.
All right.
Sir, you too.
Go Bobcats, go.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Cool. So let's get back on track, guys. That's actually was our first guest during the show. I'm gonna start trying to do that in the future. If you want to come on, just DM Fifth Quarter Twitter page. I'm sure you guys are following if you're watching this. DM our Twitter page. Let us know you would like to come on, ask us maybe a question or two, and then we can start doing this more, because all of our shows moving forward will be scheduled. So we'll have a scheduled time. Every time I'm gonna be bringing on new guests next week, and then I'm gonna bring on new guests. Every week is gonna have new guests. So if you are a fan of the show, if Texas State supporter, Bobcat fan, alumni, whatever, DM us. Let us know you would like to come on the show, and we'll give you a time, and you can come on and ask your question for us. So as we approach, I think we're approaching our time here. I want to kind of, switch gears here. Let's get back over to sports. We've been talking a lot. We talk about us all day, but the main part of this show is to, really showcase the team, talk about what our thoughts are on the team and things like that. So Georgia Southern preview. All right. Now, GSU right now, I'm hoping that's the correct term. But if not, sue me, But they're 5-2 right now. Okay, they're 5-2. Georgia Southern leads the series 3-1 against us. Like I said before, they're currently 5-2. Fun fact that I found out through some little bit of research: their offensive coordinator is actually a Texas State grad. Okay, I think his name is Bob the Beast or the Basey, something like that. All right. If I butcher your name, Coach, I'm sorry. All right. But he's a Texas. Georgia Southern's offensive coordinator is he graduated from Texas State University. Then it was Southwest Texas. All right. So that's a fun fact. Another thing to look forward to in this ball game is their quarterback, Shai Wertz, is 7 rushing yards away from the Sun Belt Conference title record. He's 7 rushing yards away from the most rushing yards by any quarterback in an individual season. So their quarterback right now seems like he's off to a fantastic year. It's one of their best players on offense. It's something to look forward to from our defense. I would tell you right now, our defense have not been playing too well, so I would bet my bottom dollar they're dialing it up on the ground game. They're dialing it up in the air. Another thing to watch for Georgia Southern is they have a freshman cornerback, Derek. I think his name is Conleen, but the corner, the DB, they have a freshman DB that leads the FBS in 4 interceptions, leads all of college football right now. All right. So it looks like Georgia Southern has a great football team. They're coming off a couple wins. I think they had a win against Troy, which was a loss that, pretty bad loss that we had. They handled their business against Troy. I saw that they played a pretty good game against Coastal. Coastal is a ranked team, one of our best Sun Belt Conference team right now. And they played Coastal pretty.
They're ranked number 15 right now?
Say it again.
Are they ranked number 15
now?
They're
ranked around 14 or 15. They're ranked somewhere around there. Coastal is ranked right now. They're undefeated on the season. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, Georgia.
They should low-key be higher.
Huh?
I think they should low-key be higher. But
right. So so as we look forward to Georgia Southern, I'm sorry guys, one can't help but number one. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. What do we need right now? Because we're on our team right now, offensively, we haven't quite gotten it. There's a big quarterback controversy right now, whether Brady McBride should be a starting quarterback still, or whether we should just let Tyler Vitt run. Tyler Vitt didn't play too well last game. Tyler Vitt went 21 for 38 for 205 yards. He's completing 55%, which is our quarterback. He had 2 touchdowns last game, but he also had 2 interceptions. It's just been an SOS out of that quarterback room this year. Brady McBride, Tyler Vitt, no one has separated themselves. I was a proponent of play Vitt. We played him last game. Didn't look good out there, So who CJ, go ahead, man. Who should be Texas State University's starting quarterback against Georgia Southern, who is 5-2? Are you going McBride or are you going Tyler Vitt? Go.
That's a toss-up, man. I'm not even going. Looking at statistically, they're both, pretty even. Brady's at 57.6 completion. Tyler Vick's at 60.2 completion rate. Just a couple numbers off. It's a toss-up, to be honest with you. Both of these guys, to be transparent. Honestly, the whole offense as a whole lacks consistent,
Yeah.
It's a lack of consistency,
Yeah.
whether from the wide receivers all the way down to the running backs, down to the quarterback, it lacks consistency.
Right.
And so, I'm kind of starting to think does it come from, upstairs, the coaching staff a little bit, because I mean, if you look at it, we're talking about quarterbacks right now, but we can get into the wide receivers a little bit later on, but I mean, it's a fluctuate of numbers. It just go one game is here, the next game is here.
Right.
Most of the wide receivers only have 27 receptions going in game 8. I mean, going to game 9. So it's just kind of trying to figure out what is the best possibility. I think both of these guys kind of had a okay season so far. I think it's going to kind of be off. If it's me, I need to kind of see how you guys practice, I need to see what you're going to do in practice for that whole week, and then I can kind of go from there. But, I guess the coaching staff is just as confused as us, because they're trying to figure out who's going to be the man. You got one guy playing, you got one guy playing here. And I think that impacts the team because nobody is reliable. We have nobody yet who's going to be that guy that's going to be dependable, who's going to take care of it, win or lose, Right. So, I mean, I think that plays a lot into, the receivers and also the running backs.
Yeah.
So right now, man, it's heads or tails,
Well, and that's kind of been the MO of this season with those quarterbacks. It's just been heads or tails. It's just none of them have separated themselves. And I will be the first one to say that I am a pro Spav guy. Okay, I like Coach Spav. I seen what Coach Spav have done at multiple Division I programs. I've watched. I mean, one of my good friends played under Coach Spav when he was at West Virginia. Y'all may know him. We played against him. His name is Charles Sims. He said nothing but good things about Coach Spav. Loved him as an OC. Charles been through under Coach Sumlin as an OC. He's been one of the best guys, nothing but great things to say about him when we got him as a head coach. But when you look at the other quarterbacks he had, they were playing at a high level, and I have to say, man, it's been disappointing. You touched on it a little bit, CJ, when you said upstairs, and I'm not gonna just coin it's the coaching, but I will say that we have now had a few times to pick our quarterbacks now, okay? Because what's his name that came in last year? Not Vitt, but the other one. What's his name? Jensen. Jensen was a quarterback. All right. He came in, transfer quarterback. He didn't work out. He's not even in the program anymore.
Right.
And you had Tyler Vitt. I personally thought Tyler Vitt was developing a little bit under Coach Spav, and he came in against this game, didn't separate himself. Then you look at Brady McBride. Brady McBride had all of the red shirt year, went through spring football, went through fall camp. Then he had coming into the season, and he just looks like the same Brady that I saw that they was talking about in Memphis. He looked like the same Brady that just needs developing and footwork and some of the mechanics. And, so if Brady's not the guy, then what in the hell are we going to be doing at the quarterback? Are they going to go out and recruit a quarterback after this year? Or are we still sticking with Brady coming in the next year? Being that we're going into game 10 and you bench your big time quarterback who we was raving about all offseason in game 10, so or game 9, because that was game 9. So we're going into game 10. I probably would bet Vitt would be the guy again. It'll give Vitt another chance to go out there. So I don't know. It's starting.
I'm a little bit biased. Biased. Most
Yeah.
people don't know this. I'm a little bit biased. I've known the McBride family. Matter of fact, his dad and his dad's brother they coached my family in high school.
Wow.
Right. So I've known the McBrides since we were young. Right. So I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to stand with my guy because I could see what he can do. But I think maybe one of the questions I would ask is, I understand that the inconsistencies, right? But then I start thinking of, does benching and a quarterback not knowing his future, does that also play a role in the performance, right?
Well,
would that be a factor?
well, I would buy that. But if you look on the previous games, Brady came off of a 5-6, 3 or 4 game streak where he was the quarterback. It's not like we've been benching him every other game. No, like they've been adamant on Brady being the guy. It's just that he missed some games from COVID. Then once he got the quarterback position back, he's been the quarterback. And we just, and finally they put Vitt in because I guess they just had enough,
Right.
I would buy that. I would buy that. But you're saying, you've seen enough from Brady and he can ball. Because that's what I keep hearing from everybody outside that knows
he can ball. He can ball. Man can ball, right? But again, you got to ball when you need a ball.
Yeah, you gotta put up the numbers, and film in the sky don't lie, and numbers don't lie. So
what's that song that they say? What have you done for me lately?
For real though.
Ooh, yeah. It is.
So he got to put that up, man. I mean, like I said, it's a toss up right now. I mean, I'm just looking at the numbers, and it looks equal. There's nothing. And the thing is also is that not only does nothing separates itself from the quarterback, it's literally all positions right now. I mean, to defense, I haven't really seen nothing jump out beside the cornerback. I'm looking at statistics wise. When I'm looking at the running backs, I mean, it's a toss up. I mean, our running back is ranked 6th in the conference. I mean, that's cool. And he's a sophomore, so I do see development. But the one thing that it stuck with us when we played, and even with that 2014 team where we went, we really we should have got what we deserved. We had a rhythm and we had key pieces, and even the key piece of for our running backs, Rob Lowe. We had Rob Lowe, our ground and pound. But if he comes out, our backup, which is Nuttall and T. Franks, are gonna come at you the same way. So you really gotta pick up your poison, right? Yeah. And then we looking at the wide receivers as well. I was thinking that Jeremiah was gonna be that guy, that guy who from the beginning, but it seemed like a lot of digression, a lot of guys just haven't really stuck to that level, But Marcel is doing quite well,
Marcel Barbie.
8 touchdowns, 393 yards. We got 2 more games. If he can get, 100 yards, I think that would be a very, very, very good year for him, But I don't know, man. There is some decent things to still, and I know that we're winning, and I get it, guys. So if y'all listening, I understand it. But to CJ's point, one thing that you got to realize is when you name Rob Lowe was a freshman. When he came in through the pipeline, and he had Marcus Curry, and we can kind of groom him, and then now it's the factory. Then you got, the receivers that we had when we were able to, we had, Isaiah, and then the next thing CJ, just able to groom and send people through the pipe. I think right now this team has so many new names. It's hard to just grab a guy that quick. Look at Marcel Barbie came out of nowhere. We were just talking about Haydel at the beginning of the year. Now, boom, Marcel Barbie emerged. So now it's almost like we're kind of creating an identity going into next year. I think that's a great, thing to look forward to, because if you look at, you mentioned the running backs when you said, if Rob Lowe in there, we had another running back to come in. Well, this team does. They have Jamel Jeter, who's a new running back. It seems like he's gonna be the guy, is what I can see. Okay. He had 135 yards last game. He was a new Oklahoma transfer, so he just got eligible. So this is his second game with us, and he had.
Keep going.
Yeah, he had 39 rushes for 288 yards so far in his couple of games with us. He's averaging 7.1 yards per carry. He had 135 rushing yards last game, and then you still have Brock Sturgis, who's leading the team with his yards, and then you still got Calvin Hill, who's at that 418 yards or something, 426 on the season.
Yeah.
So seems like they have an okay backfield, from what I can see. Go ahead, Odie.
Yeah.
So, like from listening to y'all talk, you mentioned there's a progression, right? And from what I see that really was valuable within our team is we held everyone accountable. If when we came on that field, it wasn't it's not about, okay, this person being the key guy. It's no. We came here to win. Like, here's the triangle. This is what everyone's goal is. And having, those leaders to, I think everyone, one thing that y'all mentioned is that progression. I wonder if having a player that is so interested and so keen and wanting to, progress to that level, do you think that's what may be missing, that there's not a level of leadership within, I think we were a player-led team, right?
Yeah.
We held our players accountable and everyone was in that mix, right? And we all wanted to progress, like, oh man, like I'm not going, if I don't finish through, I know they're going to call me and make me run back.
Right.
And when you say call me, you're talking about a player, not a coach.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, not a coach.
And look, and to piggyback on that, like I said, it's a culture thing. I haven't seen, just from us leaving, I haven't seen somebody who is okay with getting in somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen somebody able to call somebody out. I haven't been there, but you can just look at somebody, can tell, like, okay, like this guy's gonna hold me accountable. Just like in our team, you had Rack, you had Isaiah. And if you didn't, me and Rack got into it, but I didn't stack the weights back. You know what I'm saying? Just but it's about discipline though. It's about, and those things carry on the field. You know what I mean? So it's just about like I don't see that guy. And like I said, that guy who separates himself from the pack, I think that guy needs to start grabbing people, and bringing them along. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy that you guys say this because, and I'm sorry, viewers, it's almost like a repeat of last week. I'm gonna try to bring some newer folks, but we didn't went back to back. But no, we just talked about this last episode.
You need to hear it.
You got to go back and listen to that thing. But when me, Craig, and Sean was talking, what I was talking about was there's two different things that that we're not seeing right now that has to improve for the program, and one of them was leadership. I've been following this team since day one, and I can't tell you who the leaders are. I can't.
Right.
Just because you have the best stats don't mean you're the leader. I have not seen it. Normally you'll be able to see it. You can kind of, when you was watching the old squad, you can kind of, okay, Belo's the leader. Okay, and it's just like but on this new team, I just feel that because they have, and this is a positive now, because I know we always sometimes we do get a negative. Sorry, y'all. We just be being real. But
we just,
some of the positives that you can look forward to though is, guys, you got to realize we have a ton of JUCO transfers that came in this year. It looks like Coach Spav and them is going out and they're getting more JUCOs, coming in for this offseason for next year. So what that does is, when you building your team JUCO heavy and transfer heavy, you're trying to win now versus creating culture.
Yeah.
See, Coach Withers wanted to create the culture.
Freshman,
he wanted to go after freshmen and creating and instill the culture and then build it. Coach, with contrast to Coach Fran wanted to win now. So he wanted to go out and get transfers and JUCOs. the difference of that is when you're building a program, guys, the difference of that is if you realize, if you know the culture that was built with us through when we were in there, that culture quickly was done after a year or two because it was not a lot of, freshmen and sophomores kind of being like groomed the right way because we were junior and senior heavy. And it looks like Coach Spav is going that same route that Fran went, which is more so that junior and senior heavy. If you go that route, you're going to have to win.
Absolutely.
Because that's it's win now. That's what it is. Right. If you're going to go JUCO, win now. If you're going to go with Coach Everett Withers went, it may take you a 3-year process to kind of get everybody acclimated and then build the culture. That's what Charlie Strong wanted to do. Coach Strong had 4 years at UT because he wanted to build that culture. If you coming in with Coach Spav, you got to win now, and we're not seeing it. And they have to start winning, unfortunately, if you're going to build your team that way.
But I see a lot of upside, though. They, like I said, I'm an offensive guy. I see a lot of upside. I just think, it's going to take something that's going to make everybody just snap into it. From the beginning of the season, even the games they lost, they look good. It was a total difference from what we previously seen. Right. And so, like I said, I definitely think there's some upside to it. I think the coaches that we currently have right now is going to definitely do what they need to do. It just, sometimes it's you never know climbing to the mountain. It may be hard. You never know.
This COVID has helped us though, because it's giving everybody, it's giving all our JUCO guys 3 years instead of 2, because we get those JUCO guys again as juniors now. So it's definitely.
For me being a JUCO guy, JUCO's guy, they come in with that grit. They're coming to work. It's a different thing. It's a different thing from a young man who's coming from high school, a guy who comes from JUCO. These guys have been through, the dirt to try to get there, like literally been through the dirt to try to get there. So these guys are coming to get there and go. Right. And so that's helping the team essentially. So hopefully these young guys can kind of, grab their coattail and just ride the wave.
I'm happy you touched on that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I would tell people, hey, if you wanna walk on, you better know that dirt has more value than you do.
Yeah.
Right?
I had 2 stories for him, and it was one of the stories. But go ahead, Odie. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Right? Because dirt has more value than you do. But when I think what Coach Fran did, which was, I don't think he did this on purpose, but to your point, CJ, is we're JUCO people. We came in with a mentality of, I need to eat. You don't know where I've been.
No choice, right?
You don't know. And then for me, walk it on. It's like, no. You don't know where I've been, what this means. So the culture is it's already been ingrained, right? Because of the journey and the path that I had to take to get here.
Right. And and combined with that, I don't want to keep talking about what we were, but because that's not what we're trying to do. But at the same time, when we had that combination, and then we had other guys like leaders like Craig, Mayo. We had all these, it was just a combined thing. And then we had the younger guys, they had nothing else but to do was to follow us. They weren't doing nothing else but to follow us, Right. And I think that was super essential for our definitely for our 2014 team. We were close and we was coaching, but
and that was the biggest, and really it's we
did everything together.
I agree. You had you have to have those leaders, and we going over our time, but I'm gonna end it off. I think this is gonna be fun because I think it'll be good to start giving our guys a good story of everybody. But I think my favorite, me and who can I start with? I'll start with Odie first. I'll start with Odie first. Odie story that I remember. Bro, you So Odie, if you guys didn't know, Odie was a transferred with, you know, like one of those preferred. You use a transfer preferred walked on the team, came on, got a scholarship, came on to the. But we all knew that what this man was capable of. You know,
Facts.
back in the day, Coach Fran used to have something where he kind of like hoarded those scholarships. And like he would, if you didn't demand one and you were a walk, he wasn't gonna kind of give you one because he wanted to go and get his own guys, and you know it was just a rebuilding. So we had so many FCS guys on our roster that Coach Fran wanted to hoard the scholarships because he wanted to go out and get those FBS guys and get them on. So unfortunately for people like Odie, he wasn't able to quickly get on scholarship. So I remember there was one off season. I don't remember before. I think it was before the 14th season. And where the hell Odie at? Where's Odie? Odie is on the first flight out. Okay, Odie. Have y'all watched Money Heist? Bro. Yeah. Yo, Odie gave our coaches a demand, okay? It was a demand. He had his list of demands. And one of them was, if you ain't gonna put me on that scholarship, I ain't coming back. Sam, Pete. And I don't blame Odie for this because it was so crazy. When it was happening, I was telling Coach, I was just like, put him on scholarship. What you mean? He's talking about, y'all gotta go get him. Go get him. What are you know, coach, all the coaches were freaking out. And I'm just like, don't we got put him on Scully? What are y'all waiting on? You know? And then, you know, not too long after that, Odie, I'm not sure, how long was it after that you ended up getting put on?
So this was all taking place, I remember, this was all taking place during December, right? So they're like, yay, we're gonna wait till the next fall. And I was like, you know what? Nah, you know, it's all right. You can wait till next fall. Whenever next fall comes, I'll come back. And they're like, wait, what? Right? And I'm gonna let y'all know something. Coach Hug came to Dallas twice.
Yeah.
And both times I was stressed. I was like, bro, I just, you know, do this. Like, this is what's gonna require. Like, but I also knew that I'm the only returning one coming back, you know, on the defensive line. So it's like, are you gonna have new people or are you gonna want me? Like, what do you want? It's your decision. Yeah. But man, they were, you know, right after that spring, they came through. The letter was in, signed the paperwork.
You gotta fight for your shares. You gotta fight for your shares. And he became a starter. And to think that you were this close.
This close.
You know, that's crazy. You came on to the you came, well, not came on, but you came back that spring, and then that fall you end up becoming an all-conference football player for our team that fall. Crazy. Crazy how and people do not know what goes on behind the scenes. People don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I have a CJ story, and then we got to go. All right. CJ's story. And if y'all have any, CJ, if you have any special story, you know, you can share it too. We're going over our time. Y'all my guys, man. I'll stay on all day.
We can talk for hours.
We can talk for hours, man. CJ, a story. CJ, one of my CJ story, man. We got so many. But
literally,
I think we got so many stories. I think one of my crazy I'll let y'all in. So I was already kind of like, okay. So CJ was obviously, me and CJ was getting cool. You know, we was hanging out a little bit outside of you know. So I had the first rack in the weight room. Okay, so like, when you walk in, that's like the rack that I used to be at, right? And if you working out with me, I just don't play. Like, so we are grinding. I don't got time to Google, you know, he and ha, you know, like, you know. So everybody who used to work out and, you know, around me, we you know, we were going full speed. You know, everybody focused and we getting it done. And you know, CJ, I think CJ was a little younger at the time. You know, he just transferred in not too long ago. So CJ kind of used to. Now he ain't used to just be late all the time, but sometimes, you know, he coming in right before, you know, if we working out at 1, he popping in there at 12:58. You know, with one sock in the hand and the other shit in the other hand. You know, and I ain't say nothing. You know, I'm just, you know, CJ, I'm just like, come on, bro, like, got to get on. You know, I'm trying to. This is when we're setting the culture. Remember, it was okay for players to come in late. Y'all can agree. It was okay. It was allowed. I had to be the one. The players had to say something. There was a time when even, you know, and I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but you know, it was okay for people to come into the weight room late. And
getting dressed.
And getting dressed, you know, in the weight room. And like, I came from a program that was absolutely unacceptable. It was just like, you had to be in there like 5 to 10 minutes early, ready to work. So, but anyways, CJ didn't, there was one time, bro, and I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but you didn't, you left the rates like racked. You know, everybody was, you know, we would be racking weights up for CJ and unracking them and doing all this. And then there was one time, I think you had left those weights. You didn't rack your weights up. And I don't know if we had to do it for you or something. There was something happened. And when I tell you, I snapped on that.
I ain't taught that boy about 2 weeks.
CJ ain't talked to me for 2.5 weeks.
I ain't taught him about
He gave me the cold treat, like the silent treatment for 2.5 weeks.
I remember that.
I ain't talked to him.
Oh man, bro, go ahead.
Because what it was like we had like everybody's racking the weights. It's like three to a group, 3 or 4 to a group. Everybody's racking the weights. I think my last set was the last set, so I just did it. I just put it down, and I'm like, you know, everybody, you know, somebody grabbed the weights, and all I heard was, "Hey," you know, snap. And I'm like, why are you talking to me like that in front of Eric? I'm new. I'm like, why you talking? Man, I ain't talked to that boy for like 2 weeks. But through that time of talking, through that 2 weeks, I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, like, it wasn't personal. It was just like, bro, you got to tighten up. Like, you can't be like, it was just weights. It wasn't like I was, you know, stealing. It was just weights. It was, you know what I'm saying? But those little details, like, what can break a cancer and it can make a cancer. So I understood that after 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool though. Yeah. But that was I'm talking about the whole weight room looking. Even the strength coach. Everybody looking.
The strength coach just, you know, but that goes to show you, man, it's just, you know, when you set in that culture, man, it's just small things. It's just little things, you know. CJ,
sometimes you got to be the bad guy. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy. Like, you got to be able to embrace that. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And look, my story is not compared to the stories that can't be told. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of stories
that can't be told.
It's a lot of stories that were just even more crazier but it helped us to be successful. And that's the things that, you know, need to transfer.
See, I'm happy you mentioned that because we talk about doing the little things, right? And that's the difference that separates the you know, being 3 points away from winning the game, right? We've seen that Texas State this year, they've came close in a lot of games. Yeah. So what's that little thing that gets them over the hump, that gets them over the edge? Because I've learned that great people do the little things great. And that's a great example. That story is a great example of, like, you know, why we were able to be successful during our season, because we the little things were very important to us. And that was great.
Well, that is a good stopping point, guys. It's extended episode. I think we're just gonna keep these extended episodes going because it's always a good time to catch up with my guys. Always, man. Always a good time. I'm hoping. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Ray, I got one more thing to say, and this
Yes,
is for
go ahead, please.
all athletes.
Yeah.
For me personally, I've been playing this game for like all my life. And then when you get to the point of your life where it's kind of like you don't know which way to go, you didn't go to the next level, right? It just didn't come in your hand. And so like you become lost. You don't know which way to go. What else are you good at?
Right.
I don't want to get religious wise, but you're blessed with plenty of gifts, plenty of talents. And I want to let you know, like, your sport or what you play doesn't define who you are. Accept your blessings, accept what you achieve, and continue to figure out what other gifts and talents you have. And there's plenty of athletes that I know, plenty of guys I've spoken to that's lost, because this sport is everything they're giving it. They've given it they all, literally total sacrifice. And I'm one of those guys.
Right.
And my guys on here right now, that's just why we're friends. So I mean, brothers, really, because we relate so much in sacrificing to be great. And one of the key things that Rack even taught me as his transition, just still find a way. And it can go a little bit deeper, but I just want to let you guys know out there, like, it's all the sport doesn't define who you are. And that's LeBron's talking about it right now, but he's LeBron, and we're the guys that actually not in his position right now. And so, like, this is directly talking to you. And there's other ways to achieve what you want to do. So, keep fighting.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Those are some good words. I think it pretty much it matches up with with where we all are right now. Everybody.
Literally.
Yeah, we all are there. We all are there. Everybody's building, and I think football is always the football is like it's your transportation. Football is your transportation. It leads you to your destination. It leads you to where you're headed. It helps you to give you the tools of where you're going. Everybody, we all would always, it doesn't matter if, you play in at the college level, you play at the NFL, everyone will always have that football person in them, because it's something, it's something that if you a dog, you should be a dog in everything that you do.
Everything you do.
You a dog in your business. You a dog, in your personal life, your relationships. You're a dog for your family. When you have kids, you providing for your family. Like, those are characteristics that should never ever leave.
That's who you
ever.
Are. Right.
And it's just like, people always ask me, like, why do you seem, why are you work so hard? People ask me all the time, like, how where did you get this kind of like work ethic, and where do you drive? Like, why do you, if you made this much money last week or the last month, like, why are you still up at 1-2 o'clock in the morning working on things? And I said, it's because that has been the work ethic that's always been instilled in me through sports. I've been a competitor my whole life. It ain't stopping. Just a different goal now. So
just the piggy. I know we on.
No, go ahead.
Time. The piggyback. It's like, to play Division I is 7%. And I tell my kids that all the time. 7% of the entire world only goes D1, and then it's 1% that goes to the NFL.
Right.
Now think about it. If you're putting your all for that 1%, right? That 1% chance. Think about the odds of going to real estate, or the odds of going in tech, and you take that same grind and you put it towards that. I mean, bro, the sky is the limit. Like, I mean, just the work ethic and just the will. I don't really say that motivation is gonna get you to your point. I think it's obsession. Like, you have to be obsessed to get it, because sometimes we can motivate these people who watching right now, but you can still go in there and eat your corn dog. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's got to be the obsession to, I want to look this way, the obsession for fitness, the obsession that I want to be great. Because once you obsessed with it, that's the way you're going to achieve it. There's nothing going to get in the way of it. So that's just a point that I just kind of wanted. Free game.
Nice, man. You heard it, CJ. You gonna take my shine, bro. I'm gonna give you here, bro. I'm gonna have CJ gonna be my co-host next episode, man. It's game on y'all. But let's go ahead and come to a close, guys, man. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate y'all fellas for hopping on. We will do this again, all right? Y'all gonna come on at some point. Mike, Odie, when y'all launched and you got it out and you got that thing rolling, we'll love to have you back on. CJ, open anytime, just tell me, we get it in, no problem at all, man. So on behalf of Texas State and Bobcat Nation, fifth quarter, and on behalf of the fifth quarter, follow us on Twitter. We are bringing this back for the boys, okay? We bringing this part. We gonna continue doing this podcast, and we gonna bring out all those old alums, whether it's 03, those 05 team, or whoever it is. Bring them on. I would love to talk to you. We would love to see what you up to, guys. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Let's get it.